I think my next one is to do with the point that you brought up, right? That customers may not be, especially in India, right? Uh, we have to see value in something before we purchase it. That's just basically how pretty much everybody operates here, and I actually see that as a fantastic thing. But you mentioned that customers are wary of getting into the EV domain or buying EV vehicles because there is no real life data, there is no accelerated testing, and even if it's done, that data hasn't been published. But we also have vehicles from OEMs, Tata, for example, right, where there is a number associated with how long the battery is going to last, how long some of the electric components are going to last, and they're pretty robust. They're way more than most ICE vehicles tend to offer. So in spite of with that, in that sort of a situation where that data is available, and again, we know prices tends to be an issue, but still I believe the take rate is very slow compared to what it could have been. So what else do you think is at play here? If that data is published, if that and I think that is one of the vehicles, the Nexon EV is one of the vehicles which hasn't really reported a lot of issues from the field, right? It's pretty positive coming from wherever it's been sold so far. So what else do you feel could be slowing down or giving a pause as far as people taking up EVs?
See, I think what Nexon or other one of the top of the line cars have done well, my whatever background information I have is I think a lot of involvement in the design stage. A lot of simulation. Today the simulation is available with you, and lot of humongous data of they had with the customers from ICE, and they had the customer in the past, etc. And don't forget Tata's, and they are all global company now with JLR also with them, right? They have got this Tata Auto Components with them, so they have got enormous data available. They have experience for the design and simulation, etc. Probably whenever I think of this, I give these marks to them for that. That they have been might have been working for a long time, and the design of the system, design of the motors, design of the powertrain, everywhere they were involved with a lot of, we call it maturity targets. I forgot to touch that point. Thanks for bringing it up. We call it maturity targets. That what would any customer expect at the end of the life? What any customer would expect in the middle of the life? We call it maturity targets. What will be the IPTV then? You incident per thousand. What will be the possibility of that, and how do I reduce it in the design stage, etc. Probably that may be one of the reasons, and the validation simulation may be one of the reasons that some of them have hit the point.
Yes, I mean, makes sense, right? They have in the recent years they have come up with vehicles that I think are pretty par on with international companies. But the main question here was that in spite of having such a good product and one that has verified, claimed numbers on, it's got a 8-year powertrain warranty. The battery pack is supposed to last up to 160,000 kilometers. So in spite of all of that, there is still not enough of a take rate when it comes to people buying EVs, right? What do you feel? What else do you think is missing?
Then we are in India. We should also
Right.
appreciate we don't buy EV because it is EV, right? We look at our pocket, we look at the monthly EMI. I think we are on the cusp of that point in another year or two when the EV cost will become equal to the IC vehicle cost. And a lot of people are debating on Bloomberg. I was reading some article on that. They predict 2024. Somebody predicts 2023, where these two prices will start coming together. And I have also seen another report where it says it makes a lot of sense to buy EV car when your running is more than 40 kilometers per day, and petrol at around 80 or 85 rupees a liter, then it makes a lot of sense. So slowly customer will shift, but right now customer doesn't want to get into it because of inertia, number one. Number two, he doesn't see that why should I buy a car of this segment where the IC bigger car of other segment is available to me. So perhaps one of the points here I'm trying to make is that the the entire cost of the vehicle, whether we call it battery cost touching $150 per kilowatt hour or going below that, that's always we keep dreaming whenever we get up in the morning. But ultimately the 40% cost is going to the battery. So the vehicle cost, but at the same time, I like to make a point here that let's also look at what's the body looking like. Is it the still diesel vehicle body, the still petrol vehicle body? Are we doing enough lightweighting? That's another topic which we can touch upon later, which also brings in reliability because the vehicle has a lot of scope in shaving off the weight from the vehicle. Once you shave off the vehicle, weight from the vehicle, then the range increases and the battery cost also comes down.
True. I completely agree there. That's vehicles are getting heavier by the day, and I think a lot of some of it is to do with safety equipment, but a lot of it just tends to be features keep getting added on to the vehicle. So that totally makes sense.